Hello, Aries Waylighters. I am here to check in about August. We have a lot going on right now. I feel like I say that every reading that I do, but there is a lot going on. So let's talk about it really quick. I want to focus in on Aquarius and Leo for you. Aquarius, just to level set very quickly, is your 11th house of hope and also of friendships and networks, if you want to think of it that way. Those people who help you in life. And then the fifth house, which is the house of soulmates, including special projects that are especially important to you, and of children. So again, projects could writ large can be viewed as your inspirational children as well, not taking away from human children. Let's see what it is Source wants you to know right now, like what's hidden from you or would help you to have more clarity around. Energy and joy. So you are at your best when you are confident and moving forward with like this kind of infectious enthusiasm and passion. So I'm not surprised to see energy emerge as the topic of conversation for for you this month. It's important to note that it is an attitude of joy. Now, you are typically joyful, okay? And you share this, in my opinion, you share this somewhat with Leo. Leo is the sign of the child. And so it's a very good placement. It's naturally over the fifth house, which is the house of that for you that Leo is in right now. There is this joy also, though, I think, in Aries, because Aries is also a child. Aries is the initial sign on the zodiac, as I said. And so there's this sharing of this kind of bubbling enthusiasm before you get burnt in life, before you learn some hard lessons. There is that joy that children typically come into the world with, at least if they're allowed to do so. So that is being brought to your attention. I do want to say that in this deck, there is a card of passion, and that's not the card that came out. And so there is some anger that could come out this month. You as an Aries, as a fire sign, are not a stranger to anger. Or even the intensity of passion, whether that is passion for a person or passion very frequently for a something in life, a project larger than that, a movement. You are meant to be on the forefront of things, and so you have this passion and drive. I would call it a drive, so that you can move the collective forward. You're on the front end going, we don't know how to do everything, but we'll learn along the way. We can do this. Let's get going. So stay in the energy of joy. And I'm actually seeing this. I would not be surprised if many of you said that this is a very joyful time of life, perhaps unexpectedly, that you felt like you had to wait for a long time, and you have waited for a long time. But wow, once you got the green light, it has been like full throttle forward. So let's see what it is that Source wants to clarify for you today. Whoop. Excuse me. It fell face down, so I'm actually going to put that back in the deck. But we will see what else comes out. Source, what would you like for us to know today? Up, okay. Beautiful. All right, so Seven of Cups, Ace of Swords, Two of Cups, and the Ace of Wands. Now, how interesting, because two of these cards came out as clarifying cards in the Pisces reading that I just did. They have a very different connotation for you. So let's look at this. Seven of Cups, first of all, is that, yes, what I was just saying is that there are choices that you are making now. You actually have many choices. After life feeling like that you were just stuck in the mud, which of course Aries just hates because you have so much energy, it's very hard to sit still sometimes. You're meant to go, and so sitting still is not your forte. And you felt like you had to do it for a long time. Now you have all kinds of possibilities. I started to say cups, and you do. You have all kinds of possibilities. You may have some momentary wonderful confusion around. It's not really even confusion. It's more like, well, what would it be like to go over here? And what would it be like to go over here? I am seeing to pick something that is your larger source of truth. What is your Ace of Swords? What is this truth that will lead to that blossom at the top of the mountain that almost looks like an explosion, or alternatively a lotus blossom? What is it that is your truth? Because you are um, you are able to carry that. Swords are air, and I get that, but you are the sign of, as I said, you're on the edge, the front edge of things, the leading edge of the collective. You're out there holding the sword up so that people way back are able to see and follow that sword, almost like holding up the standards, meaning the flag, so that they can see and follow it. Um, Two of Cups. Now, this is a really interesting one to come out for you, because this is probably not your forte. Okay, it's emotional. It is a back and forth. It is a, like, is it going to be? Um, uh, is it this way or is it that way? Right? A little bit. I'm getting a little bit of the Two of Coins there, the Two of Pentacles, but I think it goes back to this Seven of Cups. So if you're wondering how to get through something and how to make a decision, pick your ultimate truth and kindred spirits. There is someone here who is ready to help. Okay, who is in that 11th house of friendships, who is ready to say, I will follow, or I will co-lead. And that is your inspiration. And wow, let me just point out, you got, out of 4 cards, you got 2 aces. You got the Ace of Swords, and then you got the Go card. So Ace of Swords, what is your big truth? 2 of Cups, who are your peeps? Who are the kindred spirits who want to hang with you and carry that sword forward? And then how are you going to do it? Imagination and fire. That fire that is a controlled fire. It's a spark. Okay? Don't worry that it's a spark. It's going to ignite. It's going to get bigger. So let's get some clarifying cards here. All right, with the Seven of Cups, you got the 7 of Coins. And so it is something of what I said. Farm the cups that you have. That's an awkward mixing of metaphors, but by that, what I mean is, consider them in light of the 2 things that we said were ways to make decisions. And in doing that, you will not only have the Ace of Swords. Can I catch the light there? You'll not only have that truth, find that truth, but you will be the Page of Swords. Okay, you'll be the one who is jumping enthusiastically forward with this beautiful expression of freedom there, and you will be followed. So see that we could say that that's her shadow, but actually, because of what we talked about with followers, I really see this as you will have followers. All right, so what else do you have for us, Sword? Just clarify the 2 of Cups, please. Clarify the 2 of Cups, please. Nope, it's that one. And you got 2. So clarifying the 2 of Cups, you have the Daughter or the Page of Wands. So more young and youthful energy. And she is holding the 2 flames here, as well as this sun and moon. So it's like the waxing moon and the waning moon, or we could also view that as the fire of the sun. So 2 of Cups, but with fire. So you're not putting out the fire. This 2 of Cups of kindred spirits will help you generate new fire. It's what we just said, that there's a spark, but it's going to pick up as you get more followers. As you get more followers, then you will have more fire. And those followers, guess what, are going to be solid. It's going to build community. The 3 of Pentacles here. So you are building a community that is inspired. I love this. I love the unfolding here. And as a clarifier for your Ace of Wands, right? Remember, that was the spark on the bottom. I'm just going to, instead of pulling it out, I'm just going to show you. It was on the bottom and it wanted to come out, which is the High Priestess. So this process of setting this up, of setting the spark out of inspiration, of holding the sword high, of whatever it is that is your truth, and of saying, who are my peeps? Who are my kindred spirits? building of community, you are in some way the high priestess, which I find really fascinating because the high priestess is typically a card of going inside, of something that is an internal focus. However, I have been talking lately about how the high priestess is also outside. The sky is over her, not a roof. And so she is external as well, although most readers don't look at her that way. So this inspiration, this truth, is you bringing something to life that has come out of your own imagination. Maybe during that time of confinement, where you felt like you were endlessly waiting, you may have had so many ideas, that Seven of Cups that we talked about, that now you're combing through them, but you are ready. Like you are ready to start moving forward and gaining those followers and building that community. And guess what? That Ace of Wands inspiration, you are now carrying as the high priestess. This is gorgeous. So whatever gender you are, this is, if you want to say priest, that's fine, but it is about being the spiritual leader. There is an element of spirituality to this. So Aries does have a strong spirituality. It's a very instinctual spirituality that actually, now that I think about it, does play well with the idea of the high priestess, with the archetype of the high priestess in that instinctual nature, in that inspiration of that child nature that you never truly lose. Some people completely lose that as they get older. They lose the trust in life. They lose the trust that they can create as they go along, that life will provide an answer. They lose that. And in doing so, they lose a lot of mobility and they lose inspiration and imagination. And that is what you are so good at. It's what you're intended to bring to the collective. So using, something in that fifth house that Leo is so lit with right now is going to be used in Harness to the Collective, which is that hands across the aisle, directly across on the wheel in Aquarius. You are a leader in something important to the collective, something that you've done individually and that has come out of your heart of cups and your mind, Ace of Truth, right? You got both aces there. You are now bringing to other people, and through other people and through building community to the world, to the spiritual community. And the spiritual community, by the way, is growing by leaps and bounds and is going to keep getting bigger because people are going through a mass awakening right now. It is time, and it's very fearful for many who have, think back on many of us, we had no examples and no information. We now have examples and information, and we can help others have an easier time of awakening and understanding what it is that's happening to them. And by the way, that may be the energy of joy. The energy of joy that you are bringing. You're so good at this. You're so good at that kind of inspiration. I'm just pausing because that's you. So that is your reading for August. I will be doing a separate video about the coming eclipses, the first one of which is in Leo. For you, I believe that this is going to be a jump start. I believe that this is going to be a sudden move forward, a sudden pow, that leap that we saw here with the daughter or the Page of Swords. All right. Wishing you well, Aries, on this amazing journey that you're on. Thank you for all that you do on behalf of the collective, and I will talk with you again soon. And if something resonates with you, please like and subscribe so that others can find the channel. I know that you can appreciate starting small. This is a small channel, and we're trying to grow and get the messages out. So thank you very much.